Hi everyone, my name is Audra Morrison and I'm here today on behalf of the College of Arts and Sciences Career Success Center. And today we're hosting this webinar on the topic of the value of a liberal arts major. This is a really popular topic among students in the College of Arts and Sciences because there's a lot of myths out there about a co-as major or about a liberal arts degree in general. So today I want to take some time to dispel some of those myths and talk about the value of a liberal arts major and things that you can do to make your degree even more valuable to you. So I'm going to open up a short presentation. I'm going to share my screen and we will go ahead and get started. There's a myth out there about majors in the College of Arts and Sciences, which I'll also refer to as liberal arts degrees in this presentation today, that they're useless. I've had students in previous presentations tell me that these degrees are useless because you can't get a job with them, you can't make any money with them, or you get the degree and then you just end up going back to school and doing something else instead of using that degree that you earned first. And although some of those statements may be true, for instance, it may be true that you get one degree and go back for a second degree later, that doesn't necessarily mean that the first degree you got was useless. So I want to talk through some things that you can do today to ensure that the first degree that you get is truly the degree that you want and that it is useful for you. So first and foremost, if you're in college, if you're here enrolled in UNF today, it's important that you start trying to figure out what you want to do. Even if you don't know right now, it's important to select a major that's going to be useful to you so that you don't have to go back to school later, even if you change your mind. I would recommend meeting with a career counselor or scheduling an appointment with someone on campus, ideally a career counselor, but an advisor may be someone you want to talk to, a faculty member may also be someone you want to talk to try to narrow down things that you may want to do and make sure that you're in the correct major to lead you to that career path. By my definition, there is no such thing as a useless degree. I think that if you don't pair your major or your degree with any form of experience, whether that be a part-time job, an internship, a volunteer opportunity, campus involvement, if you don't do any of those things and you simply just go to school to get a bachelor's degree, I think you'll have a much harder time finding a job, but I still don't think that that major is useless. Even if you totally change your mind, decide you want to do something totally different, there is value in what you learned in that major that has helped you move forward and make the decision that you're going to make in the future. So according to some websites out there, I went ahead and did some research on what people think are the top 10 most useless degrees. And I went ahead and listed those here. So we have culinary arts, fashion design, history, music, psychology, communications, mathematics, fine arts, sociology, and anthropology. So a lot of majors on this list are majors that we have here in the College of Arts and Sciences at UNF, and even my own personal undergraduate major is on this list. I've had students come to me in the past who have seen articles like where this data was gathered and said, oh my gosh, I saw my major on the list of the top 10 worst majors. What should I do? Should I change my major? And why people define these as useless degrees, it varies based on the person. Some people define a useful degree by the amount of money that you can earn within that potential industry or within that specific job that you're going for. Other people have different reasons for defining useless in the way that they do. But I wanted to show you some of the average salaries, and these are national averages, they're not specific to Florida, but average salaries for some of these useless degrees. And if you look at this list, all of the salaries on here range from anywhere in the 40s all the way up to the higher end of the scale with actuary being over $100,000 a year. And I think that for many people, the dream is to make $100,000. I have students who sit in my office all the time and say that they would love to make that six-figure salary. But we see a lot of the salaries on this list are lower than that, $40,000 to $50,000 range. And for a starting salary with a bachelor's degree, that is fairly typical. But to me, all of the salaries that are on that list are sustainable, seem to be a living wage, which is what students like to define as being useful, having a living wage. And by my standards, those are all good salaries and useful salaries. Let's talk about some other people who you may know that have some of these useless degrees. We have Oprah Winfrey on here, which most people recognize her by her name. She has a Bachelor of Arts in Communication. She became very successful. Now she has a TV show, and she does great things in the community as well. We have Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Walt Disney World, who has a Bachelor of Science in TV and Radio. Then we have me. Yes, I also had a College of Arts and Sciences major. Mine was sociology, and I decided to go on to graduate school to become a career counselor. All of us are gainfully employed on this list, and there are many other people, some celebrities as well, who have had majors in the College of Arts and Sciences. Now, I don't want you to think that just because you have a COAS major that your only options are to work in higher education or become famous, because that's not true either, which is why I wanted to keep this list short. But I'm trying to highlight that there are a broad range of industries you can go into, from management and executive management, in the case of Bob Iger, to working in an entertainment industry like Oprah, or just a normal everyday job like what I have. This is one of my favorite statistics that I love to present to students, and I think people take this statistic two different ways typically. So the statistic is 27% of people work in an industry or a career that relates to what they studied in their undergraduate major. Only 27%. Okay, that means that the majority of people are working in a totally different industry unrelated to what they studied. And I've had students in the past say, what a waste of time. Why would I spend my time and money working on this degree if I'm going to work in a totally different career field? But I like to spin that around and say, what if you go to college thinking that you want to do one thing, but you change your mind, you can still get a job? How is that a bad thing, that you can work in a variety of industries regardless of what you study? And that is one of the biggest values of a liberal arts degree, is how broad and diverse the training is. We have employers that we work with for our career fairs and our events that we host who regularly specifically seek out COAS majors because you guys have such broad skills. Oftentimes the corporate industries that are hiring for COAS majors really don't care what your major is in. They're just looking for the set of skills that you've gained, and they'll provide you the training on the rest. So this is a quote that I like to show that's from Steve Jobs at Apple, which most people know is a technology company. But even Steve Jobs said that technology alone is not enough. For the Apple product, they needed technology married with the liberal arts so that they could market this product to the users and to the humans that use it. They needed people who could communicate, who understood people, and really had those interpersonal relationship skills. So I really love to highlight that because, you know, it's just a testament to the fact that liberal arts are needed across all industries. People who can understand community and human interactions will never be obsolete. So there are industries out there where the title of the major will match the title of your career. And oftentimes I like to refer to those as major equals career. So that is going to be called more of an occupation-focused mindset, where the title of the major matches the title of the career. So some examples of those are going to be accounting. You major in accounting, you typically become an accountant. With engineering, you major in mechanical engineering, very typical that you'll become a mechanical engineer, etc. But majors in the College of Arts and Sciences, oftentimes the major does not equal the title of the career. It's usually different. Sometimes it's very different, sometimes it might be similar, but it just depends. But that's because these majors are a lot more options focused. They're prepping you with a diverse and broad set of skills that can be applied to many different industries. So for example, a psychology major will not necessarily become a psychologist. In fact, psychology is the largest major here at UNF, and many of our students decide that they don't want to go on to graduate school to pursue counseling or becoming a psychologist, as the undergrad name implies. But instead, these psychology majors go on to a wide range of companies, anything from banking, insurance, finance, customer service. The options really are endless. And that's the same for other broad majors as well, like sociology and business. And I'll give a couple examples here. Just yesterday, I was working with a student who has recently graduated as a philosophy major. And he decided that he was really interested in working with people, but he knew he didn't really want to become a teacher, but he just loves human interaction. And so he started interviewing at some corporate jobs and just landed a job with a finance company where he's working every single day with customers using those interpersonal skills. Another great example I have is when I first started here working at UNF, I had a student who was a chemistry major, but really had a passion for computer science, programming, just kind of technology in general. But he was too far along in his program to switch his major to computer science. He just didn't want to delay his graduation. So instead of changing his major, he stuck with chemistry, but decided to do his own professional development and certification and training on his own time on the side. And that student today is working as a software engineer. He actually works for himself now and makes well over 6 figures a year. He's very successful, and he did all of that with his foundational knowledge from his chemistry major and working hard towards his dreams. So very common that you can get a job outside of your industry, but it still requires that hard work, dedication, and the experience that you have to gain, especially if you're trying to work in a different industry. I have a lot of students who have the conception that success is just this very straight line. You know, you do everything right and you become successful. So I came up with some of these funny little milestones. So some students in kindergarten, they decide what they want to do. Maybe you decide that you want to be a firefighter or a nurse. In kindergarten, you set those goals. Then you do really well in high school, you're the top of your class, 4.0 GPA, make some more progress towards those goals, graduate college, boom, you're successful with $100,000. I think we would all love if that scenario were true to us, but for many people, success looks a lot more like this. So let's talk about what's going on in the squiggly area. Chaos is definitely part of it. Life and change are going on. There's lots of uncertainty. There's definitely failures, whether that's failure of a class or other things that are going wrong. Then through all of that, you still graduate college and you move on to your first job. From there, you may move on to your second job, and there may be a third and a fourth job before you reach that dream career. And for some people, it may be even longer before they reach whatever that dream salary or dream job is. But that doesn't mean that they're not successful. It just looks different, and it may take more time than some people initially think, especially if you're shooting for that $100,000 salary. So we've talked a lot about the common myth that's out there that you can't get a job with a co-as major or a liberal arts degree, but I think I have thoroughly dispelled that myth today, and I want to replace it with this career fact, that getting experience equals getting hired. If you have experience upon graduation through a job, an internship, an on-campus involvement, or even community volunteering, you are much more likely to get a job, and you will probably get the job much faster than if you're trying to work the job market with no experience and just a degree. So getting experience really does equal getting hired. And that experience doesn't necessarily have to be targeted. A lot of students work customer service jobs while they're going to school as waitresses, as servers, as sales representatives. And those customer service and communication skills are actually the foundational skills that many of these corporations are looking for when they say they want 1 to 3 years of experience. And many students don't actually know that. So yes, your server or barista job will definitely pay off for you at some point. So I wanted to leave you with a few of my opinions on why I think COAS majors are awesome. Number one thing I love about the College of Arts and Sciences is the interdisciplinary major. It basically allows you to create your own major and pick which classes you want to take across different departments. So in theory, you can create your own major in that way. Number two, if you're a person who really just doesn't do well with math or science or technical courses, we have majors in the College of Arts and Sciences that do not have an emphasis on technical courses. Somehow I managed to make it through undergrad and graduate school without ever taking calculus or chemistry. I've never taken either of those courses. We have a variety of career options that you can go into if you have one of our majors, and you're equipped with relevant knowledge and relevant transferable skills to fit into those industries. And finally, you can make a career out of a passion. And I know you can do that across other majors. Some people may have a passion for engineering. That's great for them. But the College of Arts and Sciences really does have such a broad array of majors and minors. I think in total, we have over 76 different disciplines that you can study. And you can really, truly make your passion come true, which is what I love about the College of Arts and Sciences. So please don't think that you're going to end up like this if you have a liberal arts degree or a College of Arts and Sciences major, because I promise you it's not true. Now, I can't lie to you and say that the starting salary for some College of Arts and Sciences majors is lower than that starting salary for more technical majors, because we know that that is the case. It's not always a huge gap. Sometimes it may be larger, sometimes it may be a smaller gap, depending on the company that people are working at. This is national data, again, not relevant to Florida, from the 2019 salary survey that was conducted by NACE, which is the National Association of Colleges and Employers. And on this particular survey, you can see the difference between engineering and social sciences is about $12,000, which to me is not really a huge difference. And again, that's starting salary, which means that that social science person could elevate up and move far past the engineering person. Maybe the engineering person stays at 72, 75, and then eventually our social science person moves up into a leadership or a managerial role where they're making $75,000, $80,000. So it's really anyone's game once you get out of the entry-level salary point. But the entry-level salary difference really isn't that big. So those are just my thoughts on the salary differences. And this other piece of data is that 91% of employers want to see experience when looking at candidates who are applying. So experience is almost more important to them than what you major in. So that is definitely something to keep in mind when you're trying to look like a valuable applicant. You also want to do your research. Know what the entry-level requirements are for your field, for the jobs that you're interested in, for the companies that you're interested in. You also want to make sure you're familiar with the job outlook. If there's only 2 positions open for the job that you want in the state that you're in, that's a highly competitive job, and it might be harder to get that right out of college with limited experience. So you should also research, is grad school a requirement? Can you get into your industry with just an undergrad level degree, or do you need a master's level degree? Do that research to make sure that you have all the relevant knowledge when you're getting ready to apply. If you like this video today, please follow us. A lot of our video content is going to be posted on YouTube, but we also do a lot of posting on Instagram. We post relevant jobs, internships, and events, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the video today or any of our other content, please do not hesitate to contact me. We are still working remotely due to coronavirus, so it's best to send me an email. If you call our front office, you won't hear back from me as quickly. And thank you so much for watching the video today, and I hope you learned something.